Hey guys, what's going on? It's been quite some time. Um I thought while I'm still awake, I don't know, I've had a lot of thoughts to want to cover, but I've never been around my station enough to really jot them down and get them out of the way. So I'm just gonna try to wing this as best as I can. First of all, guys, I know it's been a hell of a long time. I know a lot of people have left the community. A lot of people have unsubscribed from the channel. And I'm here to say that it's okay. Because, times change. People change. Preferences change. I don't expect people to stick around forever, and that's fine. For those who have stuck around, you know, um, during this, however long this break has been, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much, guys, again, for all your continued love and support. It does mean a whole lot to me that you guys are, willing to stick through, all the good and the bad, and then some. So, uh, I guess, geez, I guess I'll start from the top. So, I have stepped down as a full-time content creator, which means I used to be on stream for anywhere between 6 to 10 hours per stream. Uh, that's like literally like a Monday to Friday. So I did 5 days. You can imagine, do the numbers, do the math. And on top of that, having a daytime job on top of that. I had no issues doing it for the most part as the momentum was going, the momentum was strong. I had a lot of content going and doing a lot of numbers. Now, fast forward, you know, fast forward to being burnt out, to dealing with a whole bunch of drama and a whole bunch of other bullshit. Going on a mental break and pretty much have left D Live altogether. And after leaving D Live, we went to Twitch and we just permanently went to Twitch. We stayed on Twitch as we figured that that would be the best move moving forward in terms of growing out the brand and gaining a global audience. And here's why. So a lot of people have. I get so many questions, and sometimes they're like indirect. Like they don't even ask me directly. Like I have to hear from somebody else, and it's stupid. If you guys got questions, ask me. Like I'm not hard to approach. There's just a lot of people, who like to stir the pot, who like to start shit, and those are the people who don't even know me. So if you guys want to know from the source, don't ask people who aren't even my friends. Don't ask people who don't even know me. You ask me directly. Um, so I felt that on D Live, I have accomplished everything that I wanted to do except global partner, because it's the same thing, more so or less as a verified partner. Um, I've done everything that I wanted to. I thought that I had plateaued because I wasn't really losing numbers, like I was just maintaining numbers. We were pulling anywhere between 10 to 20 viewers on average per stream, 50 to 60 on a front page good day, and we were doing really good. But the thing was, like, we weren't gaining new followers. We were always just and I'm not saying this as a bad thing. Being uh being a part, like, as a part of this consistency to gaining the same people who come in and out, who lurk, who interact, and what have you, is not particularly a bad thing. However, gets to a point where if you're doing this for a whole year, and for me personally, not seeing like for me, I'm always chasing and always wanting more. It's not so much chasing, but like yeah, it's wanting more. I feel like, I could do better. I feel like maybe if I have a different approach, if I have a different audience, if I have a different brand or platform to continue my work, then maybe like, maybe if I start the slate clean, that I could, get to where I need to be. Um, Fast forward 5 months from that thought, I landed myself on Twitch. We've carried the community over. There are a few people who have decided not to leave D Live and just stay on D Live and whatever. That's fine. But there's a lot of people who it's not like, so much as like a streaming platform loyalty. It's more of a community loyalty, and I am deeply appreciated to those individuals who have decided to obviously just stay loyal to the community, not just me, but the community, and following me from D Live over to Twitch. Um, it's hard to say. Like, I would say we're definitely growing in numbers. It's not like a huge steep upwards, but it's just like it's like a steady ascent. We're making a few numbers here and there. Our engagements are high. The followership is high. The viewership is high. Like I look at my stats every time on it, and I see a lot of great numbers there. So it's great. Um, Taking the break that I've needed to really clear my mind, to focus on my mental health was definitely needed. For a while, I don't know if you guys have heard the other podcast in regards to my anxiety and depression. That's something I'm still battling with to this day. Um, Although from that time period till now, it's not affecting me as deeply, but there's some lingering effects here and there that kind of rouse up my anxiety, and that just takes me away from a lot of things. It takes away me from my community, takes away me from my projects, from content creation, from life. I have, because of like, my anxiety and depression, I have a copium of like, just falling back to eating, and I've gained a lot of my weight back. If you guys had followed my, I guess, my weight training journey last year, I've cut 40 pounds, got cut, and was doing really, really good. And then, like, then I had some nagging injuries, and then depression hit, and then 40 pounds, and then some came back. And I'm just sitting here trying to get over that. Where, if it wasn't for my friends in the community, I definitely wouldn't been have able to make it out of that. And to my friends out there, you guys know who you are. Guys, thank you so much for sticking with me um, through my difficult process. I couldn't quite process the words to do it, but it's been a difficult process. You guys have helped me get over a lot of things, have helped me clear my mind, and had helped me, gain a new outlook to progression towards bettering, myself. I've just been so about the community for so long that I've always just been pressed into getting you guys content, putting myself on a schedule, putting myself on a deadline, trying to shoot and project for goals. And eventually, I think everything, as soon as like my anxiety and everything hit and all that, everything just like Like, that wheel there's just spun out of control had just messed everything up. And after I had sat down and assessed myself and assessed everything that I was doing, um, I found that I was putting myself on this really, really strict schedule into getting content out there, and not really focusing on myself. And, you know, stepping back and doing periodic streams here and there, has been fun. We've been playing a lot of Apex Legends, playing a lot of Valorant more so, and we were just, um, just vibing and having fun. I would always have to, I don't have to put on a persona. I don't have to just, you know, I guess like try hard for content. Like, I've cut loose so much that like, it's just like more of me now. And anybody who knows Epikism is like Epikism was just like a gimmick, a failed Korean pop idol gimmick. Um that eventually it just kind of got dropped over time, and then it's just like Epikism is just now an extension of myself, where I feel a lot more comfortable being myself around people, um, and just uh, just not really care about much. But I'd be lying to say, obviously, if I cared about how people view me. But um, I don't know. Maybe that might be a topic for a different time. So that's what's going on with that. So that's what's going on with like how I've been since the last time, and how I'm doing, where the platforms are moving. So if you guys want to catch me on live streaming on a platform, it's twitch.tv/epicism with an underscore afterwards. And you'll be able to catch all the live streams over there. We do have some VODs up, so just in case if you've been missing any of the live content that have been going on, we do have VODs for you guys to watch. And eventually, I hope anyway, that I could re-upload some of that stuff to YouTube. But because of the restrictions and the guidelines and the changes that YouTube have made, it makes it really, really hard for me to produce content to, making sure that I'm not hitting all the copyright strikes and guidelines and all that stuff. So I have, I guess, I have to rediscover YouTube to kind of see what sticks and what doesn't. In terms of producing video game content for the YouTube channel, I had to scrap a lot of content. And it's not because, I really wanted to, but it's because of certain circumstances that had brought me to saying, with certain individuals who are no longer in the community, um, and with how much of they've been a part of the content, had just laid waste to about 80% of the content that I had recorded, that I wanted to clip and everything to get on towards the YouTube channel. Um, because we ain't, associating, you know, with certain individuals anymore. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna get that out there. There, you have probably seen and heard some people who were in the community before who have no longer been in here for a good long while some people I still keep in contact with, kind of on a regular. A lot of people had stopped content creating. A lot of people had, kind of, not kind of, but really had to step away to making sure that they're living their best life, whether it be through working or what have you, just doing things. You know, the one thing I will tell everybody in my community, that I'll tell you guys, obviously, is that you guys don't have to be here all the time to show your support. You can drop a line. You don't have to constantly show up and feel pressured that you guys have to appear all the time to, to showing me that you guys care and you guys support. while I do appreciate it, I really do. But look after yourselves, making sure that you and your family are safe, that are healthy. You guys are happy and living your best lives. The stream and the community will always be around. Even if we're not streaming, the Discord community is here. You can drop in a line to me privately or publicly, just to catch up, and I'm okay with that. Ah, um, so yeah, that's the community, that's the content and where that's gonna go. I hope to record some content soon and get something up for you guys. The thing is, I really had to sort through a ton of footage, and now that I guess like COVID restrictions are lifting, and my I've been summoned back to one of my old places of employment, and I'm working there full time. It might take a little while for me to, in between work and just, I guess, like sleep from exhaustion and just kind of trying to put my life back on track. It might take some time. Um, Bear with me. If you guys want to know anything on the updates, guys, leave a message. You know, at me on Twitter or at me on Discord. I'm okay with it. Sometimes I read the messages. Sometimes I just don't get back to them, and don't take that as like an offense or anything like that. If and when I got the time or I have the right words in mind, I will reply. But in the meantime, if I don't get back to private messages, um, don't be upset. Don't take it personally. I'm just just I'm reading. It's just like I got to do stuff. I got to do a lot of stuff. Whew. Um, I guess like a lot of other topics I could talk about too. If you guys had seen the Epikism X Paul trailer and the podcast and the first episode, um, I've gotten a lot of feedback from that. Things that people wanted to hear or things that people wanted to see in regards to how they kind of want that to go about. Because I know, you know, I think it'd be better if I had brought images or explained it. So like, it's here's the thing, and I could sit here and tell you guys that on this podcast, it's easy to just sit here on the mic without having a camera on you to just um worrying that you look good and stuff like that and being presentable visibly while doing all this stuff. But I would have to dissect parts of the podcast, and I would have to video edit if I had to do that to find the clips and the footage that I need to. And some of those I don't even think I have some of the clips and footage that I need to, or even like any of the external sources for that matter. So it's tied down to like a lot of things where like if I need to discuss certain topics and stuff like that, that hopefully I have the materials on hand needed to making sure that I can tell you guys a story and telling you guys like this is what happened, here was the resolution, and here's how we moved forward. I would like um I would like to do that on a regular with you guys. I would like to say, you know what, I could talk about the stories of my life. I can talk to you guys about the adversity or like the things that have happened and how I got over them and how I became a better person out of it. Because I remember having a conversation with Gal, and Gal had mentioned like that like I was like a perfect person, or like a person who gives out like great advice. And I had told her you know this advice that comes from me had come from a lifetime of trial and error. Like, I have done a lot of wrong in my life to figuring out that this was not the best way to go about it, and that there had to be a way for me to improve myself, to making sure that something like this doesn't happen to someone else. I've told, the stories about me growing up and dealing with, poverty and some of that stuff among things, but among that as well as like, there was like, life of mischief, there's a life of crime, aside from being a juvenile delinquent, there's been, some altercations there, like, just like, uh, being involved with the wrong crowds, being involved, like, being a shoplifter or like, being, getting over being a kleptomaniac. That there's like a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff that people don't know about me. People, like, things I've just explained that are just a shock and, like, just revelating, for people to find out about me. And I'm okay with that because I don't want people to view me like, even though like they know me now and they're okay with it and they're saying like, hey, I produce good content. I know what to say, I know what to do, sort of thing. And th- there's always a rhyme and reason, and and anytime I talk to somebody who want to seek out advice from me, I always tell them there's a rhyme and reason. There isn't just a just do. There's a reason why I say and do things, and the routine of how I come about it, and what results will come from it. Because you have to you have to understand the process of it to understand, if you were to discuss this and this, or if you were to talk about it, if you want to improve certain aspects of, A, B, or C, that, you're going to have to encounter some things, you're going to have to come to terms with some of these things, and the end goal might not be instantaneous, but it's going to be a work in progress. For me to, get out of the bad life, to, to unassociate myself with, um with certain people growing up, or to, coming to terms that I was a shitty person that had done bad things, you know it it's a rude awakening to know how much it affects your friends and family around you, the people who love and support you, um because, these are the people who stick through by you, through, the best times or the worst times. And, when you end up hurting them the way you have been, like, you have to wake up, you have to look at it, and you have to say, you know what, like, what benefit am I gaining from this? I get a momentary, moment of greed to satisfy, a personal want, a personal, need for just that time being, until, something happens again. Whether it be stealing from your family and friends, or whether it's saying something to your family and friends, um, just as long as you've reflected back on your actions and had come to a resolution, then you're on your way to, you know, to just being better overall. And it's not like an instant process. There's no gratification. There's no, self-righteous act out of it. You just need to make sure that, what you have said and done, how deeply it affected people, how did it make them feel, about themselves, about you, how you're gonna move forward from it. Sometimes you might not even get, to that, process, because, like, of how badly it affected people. But I would say, if you don't talk about it, you will never know. So, whether you are, um you're the person who does it, or you're the victim, there has to come a point where, like, eventually you're gonna have to talk about it and hash it out, and making sure that things get better from there. I've had a few good talks with, like, I've not like sit down talks, but I mean, there are moments where, like, I'd be driving and my mom would say stuff, and it really, it's good to reminisce and look back on a lot of things and just say, you know what, like, I'm glad I grew up the way I did. I'm glad I grew up poor. I'm glad I grew up making bad decisions and learning from them. I'm not saying, like, you guys don't have to make bad decisions all the time, or you guys don't have to live life avoiding bad decisions. But, you know, it's the it's the learning process that makes you understand who you are. And, we me and my mom would just sit there and talk and reminisce, and we're just like, yeah, like, I remember beating you guys up when, you guys were bad. Like, to be honest, like, I didn't want to do it, but I wanted to make sure you guys understand that what you guys did, like, was wrong. Obviously, like, as a kid, nobody likes, being beat by their parents. It's not cool. Like, it hurts. But in the end, you understand, why they did it. Even though it's out of love, but it's also like out of just correction and just making sure you understand and you don't repeat the same things again. Because if you're not told or if you're not taught why these decisions are the bad decisions, then you're gonna keep on making those same decisions, and eventually it's just going to get worse and worse and worse before it gets better. Because the better part is obviously the recovery process and understanding, but the worst part is you don't even know where you're going to end up. You know, the wrong actions and the wrong words can distance and alienate you from your family and friends, could land you with a worse crowd, could land you in jail, or could you winding up dead, and nobody wants that. Um, what else here? I swear, like when I think about a lot of stuff and like I'm away from my computer, it's hard to. I should really like note this stuff down, and I think I might have. I remember I wanted to talk about a lot of things, and I just okay. I guess I can leave it at that part. I guess I can try to, answer some hypothetical questions to people who want to know what's going on, and the answers I can give them um, uh, while they still have it here. So, a lot of common questions is in regards to, I guess, like one of the dramatic issues that's been going on recently. One of the questions that's been asked from a specific person is, you know, even though things have happened, you know, things have been said, things actions have been done, and that'll probably be another story for another day. Would you be open to resolve an issue if they were willing to talk about the issue, or they were willing to come to you to talk just in general? And the answer I have for this is, in regards to the issue on hand, when people decide to leave your life without saying a word, um, without giving you any forms of heads up or anything like that, they just instantaneously walk away. Obviously leaves a lot of mixed emotions. A lot of them are really bad emotions because there's history. So in regards to the issue is that, I have taken this person in, into the community, showered them with a lot of love and warmth. Um, put them in a part of everything that we have done here. And Part of the way in the process of that growth is like having them be more involved and looking at the situations of on their side of things. You wanted to help them out because I once saw myself in that situation as well, where let's just say you wanted to go online, you wanted to play a console game with your friends. All your friends are online, they're sitting there having fun. You're sitting there watching them having fun, and you wanted to be a part of it. And, for me, back when I was young, just seeing a lot of these families here who had like, multiple or who had computers or had consoles, multiple TVs to play this stuff on. They didn't have to fight their family for it, that they just had access to do it and just kind of, sit in the back and just, whatever, right? You look at it and it's like, man, I wish I had that accessibility and, things would be a whole lot easier. For me and my family, I think at the time I had to bug my parents a lot for a lot of stuff. And for as poor as we are, I'm surprised that we were able to, um, provide as best as we could with what we got. So there were times where, like, on this super small CRT, like, television that, like, we'd be sitting on a busted CRT television. Me and my brother would be playing our console games on it. Sometimes we wanted to hook it up to the bigger TV, and then, we would have to kind of fight our parents to, not fight our parents, but we would have to kind of manage time for my parents to watch their stuff, and then when they're not watching their stuff, like that me and my brother could just you know hop on that thing and just play Super Nintendo or something. Now, as that relates to this situation, I looked at this as like you know a family of four, parents on the television, kids want to play the video games but they can't because everything is all hooked up to this one television. And just kind of sucks that like that if you want to be involved with community, you want to play some that you have to sit there and wait your turn. And so like even though they had done something great for myself to go out and enjoy something alongside with them, I felt that to myself that I should owe them back as much because not only have like they really been a part of the community, that I wanted them to be even more involved. And how can I do that? By providing them, like, a secondary television to help, make that process a lot easier, to making sure that, their family could watch television at peace. And then a second television could be used to making sure that you're having, your fun, that you're playing with your friends and having fun doing so. And everyone wins, everyone's at peace and everything's good. Fast forward a few months or so later, we I've decided to get into having a PC for streaming and for gaming. I've strayed away from consoles. I've built I've had the pleasure of building my own PCs. I've built quite a few and I've gave away quite a bit. And the reason why I've done this is that, you know, I wanted to provide um I wanted to provide these PCs for low income families where it's hard for them to provide the income to make, you know, uh purchases for computers and stuff like that. Like this stuff is just like, it's not easy to come by, it's not cheap. But the way I look at this is like, the people in my community, that they were, going above and beyond, not just like, for the community and not just the community, but being an amazing family member in the household, outstanding student, outstanding worker, helping providing for their families. And I look at that and I'm saying, like, because I view myself in those situations so much that I wanted to do something for, I wanted to pay it forward and help people in that same type of situation, which is why when people ask me, Epic, you built like, $1,000, worth in computers and you just give them away without asking for anything, like, why would you do such a thing? And I have one specific quote in mind, you know, when I and it reminisces or like it like I it reminates or like emanates or emanates is it? I just like I vibe with that. Where if you remember the movie Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, and you remember that one scene where Han talks about Tokyo being his Mexico, but the speech that he gives before that is Sean Boswell goes up to him and he's like, why'd you let me race your car? You knew I was gonna wreck it. And then Han was just like, why not? And then Sean was like, well, it's a lot of money. It's not cheap. And then here's the quote, and I'll try to say it line for line, but here's the best as I can remember it. All right, he says, "I have money. It's trust and character that I need around me. The price of one car of knowing what one man is made of is a price I can live with. It's because you know who you have around you lets you know who you are." And I think I might have swapped that. I might have swapped those lines around a little bit, but that's basically the gist of the thing, where it's just like if you're okay with like gifting someone something, especially if it's like high value, just to let them or just for them to show you who they are, is something you can live with. You can see whether or not they become a great person with that or a horrible person out of that. But that price you put down on it to let yourself know, is something that's worth it. And for most of the people in my community, that it was worth, for me gifting these people these PCs because, I saw a lot of good in what they were trying to do, not just for themselves but for their families, and I can't help but feel in those situations to help them out, because now that I have the means to do so, I would love to see people not just being engaged with the community, but to also be able to do well for themselves. Now, with this one situation, is that I had gifted this person, not just one, but two PCs. And it's not just that. It's not just the gifts. It's not strictly all about the gifts. It's not just the televisions and the two PCs, but it was the process of growing together within a time period. Through that time period, we have done so many things together where we had a lot of blowups together. Either us going at each other or going against, you know, or not going against something, but like going through good times and bad times. Uh, having each other's backs and all those things. Like there's a history. That you guys have gone to war together. You guys have fought, in the same trenches together. You guys have just like you know, it was just like us against the world sort of thing. Fast forward, and then like you're going through a really really rough time, even though there might have been some words exchanged here and there, but there has just never been anything negative between the two. But for one day, for this person to get up and walk away without saying a word. Now, given the time frame from between that and now has been roughly about 5 months. And in 5 months, they couldn't, muster the energy to say one word or type in a letter on the keyboard. Shows you the kind of person that they are. Normally, I would say within like, a time frame, I would say it's okay. Obviously not when like, tempers are flaring and everything, but you and it's I guess what it all boils down to is respect. The respect that you have for another person to really talk to them, regardless of what happened. If he said something, like, if I said something to upset someone, or if they said up something that upsets me, or someone else that was indirectly affected but don't want to say nothing, and again, because they're not your friend or anything like that, but, um, if people are getting in their ear to saying shit, to saying like, you know, yeah, just block and walk away. You know, in that given situation, what I would have done is, regardless of what had happened, even if people are telling me, hey, yeah, just you know what, you should probably just block and just move on, block and just walk away. To me, you know, I would disagree with that sentiment because I would look at it and say, you know what, me and this person have history, and I respect this person, you know, this much to tell them what's on my mind and what's going on and what's going to happen. I owe them that much because I respect them because we have history. Unfortunately, in the situation, there was no respect shown, let alone anything else shown. So it was easier to make the decision to say, you know what? Apparently, what they have done spoke for them. Their actions spoke louder than words. What they wanted to do is what they wanted to do, and I'm okay with that. In the end, they showed me what kind of person they are, what they represent, and what I don't need in my life. And it was easier to come to that decision a lot later after thinking about it. And I know a lot of people have something like that going on in their lives where they feel like, you know, they have a friend that they had gone to war with, that fought together with, that there have been all the goods and the bads. It's all a different type of situation. You can look at it differently. You can look at it, uh, in a different way, depending on who it is, depending on what you're willing to do. But I think it's just like, just know that you know, it's never going to be the same, and it's okay. You're going to lose somebody possibly, and it's going to be okay. The way I have gone about it is like, I I will never know what I have said and done to deserve such a thing. The only thing I can take away from this situation, is that, I might have, just, you know, a bad person who probably had just left the community. Hell, you know what? If something's wrong with me, I might never know what I need to fix. All I can do now is just kind of assess myself and just say, you know what? Maybe I need to tone down. Maybe I just need to stop saying certain things. Maybe I just need to stop associating myself with certain types of people again. Which is probably why, like, if you guys have been on my streams or anything like that, like, I haven't really, like, unless it's somebody within my community, like, I don't really reach out to other creators anymore because I guess this whole experience has built a stigma of a fear, I guess, of being viewed differently because In short, what I wanted to do before, before stuff went down is that, um, let's just say, I'll tell another story, I guess, is that I put together a community of content creators, small content creators on a platform that I felt that could benefit in a way that we can get together and play some video games together and just have fun with each other's company. This thing wasn't to flaunt egos. This was not to flex. This was just people hanging out in the community to have fun, to enjoy each other's company. Now, somewhere along the way, more people got involved. Some people came in on recommendations, and some people were the people I invited to the community because I felt that maybe it was time to expand a little bit more, um, to, I guess, look at it a way as like branching out and creating different type of content. And it's not just like, again, it's not personal gain, but maybe everybody can gain from this, where everybody can gain a new friend and maybe just have like new content to work with. Uh, Somewhere along the way, I guess people felt like it was something that they can take advantage of, to take advantage of individuals in the community, to move individuals in the community and assimilate them as their own, which is pretty fucked up because they did nothing to build that community. They just stole the community. Um, so what had happened was just, okay, a certain individual had just gone and just basically passive aggressively just took over the community, just for the sake of personal gain, and then has just like phased out the community because they've just assimilated it and branded it as their own, which is fucked up. Uh, so yeah, that, I don't know. I don't know if it dissolved or not. All I know is like what happened from that was that, you know, everyone's living their best life or whatever, things are going on. The wheel's still spinning, the smoke is missing, but the wheel's still spinning. And and everyone's fine. Um yeah, it sucks that when you want to put something together like a community to, and I try not to hold these guys on a pedestal, but offline TV. And this is the motivation and the I guess the inspiration behind this sort of thing is because I look at this as like, it's not, I don't want to emulate this, but I look at the formula and I see these individuals come together as friends, and these bonds transcend just content creation, where these guys are actually having wholesome friendships with each other, and it's amazing. And I feel that there's something like, something that could be done with all of us as well, that we can have these wholesome friendships, like, where no one's ego is bigger than the other, and that there's no ulterior motive into the gaining of having certain types of people around you. So when I put together games like Among Us or Rust and anything of the sort, it's just to have people come together to enjoy each other's company, to know that other communities and other content creators exist. I felt that the intentions were really good. The execution was there. Unfortunately, it's just, I guess, a person with, person with my name, or person with my status on a on an unknown platform just made it a lot difficult to move. What I'd felt is that, again, a lot of people are all about themselves, that they're not really there about others, and it is what it is. what I had learned from this process is if I'm going to do any project like this in the future, it's just that, it's best to do it with whomever is with you in your community and just kind of start from there. If you guys want to branch out with other creators, I guess it's best to know, I guess it's best to scout them out a lot first before you make the decision to invite them in to any cooperative sessions, because you don't know how they operate or how they work or what's on their mind and what they're going to do. It's a lot of shady shit, but that's most, business relationships is a lot of shady shit. And you just need to understand, where individuals are and what they're coming from, what they're thinking. And hopefully you guys don't get to really deal with that. But yeah, I'm gonna close off the podcast with those. Um, Guys, thank you so much again for all the love and support. I know it's been tough, not just for you guys, but for me. I swear I am getting better. I'm finally able to at least sit down and have a lengthy podcast with and for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And if there's anything you guys want me to discuss, if you guys have any questions or anything for me at all, if you guys can reach me out on Twitter or on the Discord, or leave a comment in the comment section below. I would love to know what you guys think. And if there's anything, any help or any advice that you guys would want to hear from me, um, I'll be more than happy to share my thoughts on the next podcast and to making sure that, I am reading, I'm listening, and I will provide you guys, hopefully with the best answer possible from, I guess, my personal point of view. So, guys, thank you so much again. And again, follow me on Twitch because that's where all the streams are happening now. Twitch.tv/Epikism with an underscore after. And the stream times are hopefully starting back around the same time, so 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to as late as maybe like 10 or 11 p.m. It depends. It depends on what my work shift is and if I have the energy. Sometimes I don't have the energy and I just don't stream. And I don't communicate this enough, which is really a really bad end on my part. But I feel like because I'm not full-time content creating, that it's just easy. But now that I guess like the bearings are going a little bit more, that I want to be a little bit more proactive and making sure that you guys are informed. But with that, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, live your life. Um, I know people are vaccinated, and I know people out there aren't getting vaccinated, but guys, wear a mask. I've been reading a lot of stuff about the Delta variant of the COVID going, and I think doctors are saying that it's probably still going to be a thing for a little while, so it's not over quite yet. So I just want to say, stay safe, guys. Even though like things might be okay now, but just watch out. All right. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys on the next podcast. Take care of yourselves and buy the merch. By the way, hopefully I'll have a link in down below. We have merch now. If you guys are looking at the logo that's on the screen right now, that's the new logo that represents me and the brand and the merch. teespring.com/stores/epikism. There's a lot of great merch in there, by the way, designed by yours truly. And I wear this stuff on my streams all the time if you guys want to see it. So a lot of good stuff. All right, bye. I'm gonna go now. Otherwise, I'm not gonna shut up. All right, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.